When Cheryl and Kristen first asked me to contribute advice to junior scholars on making the transition from graduate school to becoming a faculty member, I was excited. However, as I've considered what advice I could give, I've come to the conclusion that the best advice is not to take any advice. I was given 3 sage pieces of advice by my mentors, all of which I managed to ignore. 1. I was told to make sure I got any promises made at hiring time in writing. This just wasn't me. First of all, believe it or not, I was too shy and unsure of myself. Why doesn't anyone ever believe I'm shy? Secondly, as I've learned over time, administrators are often very leery of making commitments. Even their verbal promises are often couched in terms that are not committal at all. Of course, I do think that you should ask for written commitments, even if I didn't follow this advice. The second bit of advice I was given was to avoid committee work. Service work is rarely given the same value at tenure and promotion time as scholarly work, and service work takes time away from all of that writing for publication we need to be doing, the work that does count. Again, however, I ignored this advice. Yes, I did publish, but I also served on lots of committees, and my service extended beyond my department. I even expended time on service to the discipline, including starting the Graduate Research Network during my first year in my tenure-track position. It was time well spent, however, and in the end, not only did it not hurt me, I believe it, along with all of the other service work I did at the department and university level, as well as service to the discipline, helped as much as my scholarship did. If nothing else, service to the department and the university helped clinch the deal. I was a good citizen, and therefore even faculty who might not have liked me personally had to admit I was collegial, that term that is usually ill-defined and not really a formal part of the tenure and promotion process, but is probably the most important consideration of all. But yeah, you do have to publish too, so somewhere you need a balance, even if, again, I failed to take my own good advice. Finally, I was advised to be quiet. Yeah, right, me, quiet? I was told not to make waves. As a new faculty member, I was cautioned, I should get to know the ins and outs, the politics, the history. Remember, I was cautioned, these people will eventually be the ones who decide whether or not I get tenure and promotion. Of course I didn't listen. I jumped in head first. The waves were tsunami-like. I had been hired, after all, to take a leadership role. I had been hired because I had certain knowledge and skills. And yeah, I often put my foot in my mouth, and I still do. But somehow I survived. I'm here to prove that it is possible to ignore all the good and not so good advice you will be given and still sail through at tenure and promotion time. But it is an exhausting process, and one that you really should pay attention to. Find out what the requirements are for tenure and promotion, and make sure that you meet those requirements. If you don't, then make sure that A, you can justify what you're doing in terms the department, the college, the university, and the regents will understand and appreciate. In other words, bring in lots of grant money. Or B, make sure your CV is up to date and you're prepared to go elsewhere. It's easier, after all, to leave before tenure and promotion than afterwards. So my best advice in the end is this. Remember that you are trying on the fit of the department every bit as much as they are trying you on. With a little luck and lots of hard work, you will find the perfect fit.